Alright, Wednesday, short day. Just get through this video real fast and you'll get a decent amount of questions on your Math Excel, but we'll be fine. Yesterday we looked at how the visual representation of algebra can be analyzed and used to eliminate options. A quick review of what that was. Some of the things that we looked at, a major part of what we looked at was that we had a table and we had some graphs and we had to figure out which graph matched the table or how they linked up. And so what you would want to do is, and again you might want to do this with your calculator just to make sure, but it will always be second to first. So it's not 346 minus 1011, it's 1011 minus 346. So 1011 minus 346 is 665. That means it's going up 665. Now you're going to do second minus first again. So 3455 minus 1011 is that answer. And then of course I really don't need more than that, because if you remember, I told you yesterday that when these two numbers are different, it means it's nonlinear. And so we have a couple things we can do here. First off, we know it's nonlinear, so anything that looks like a line can go away. This is a line, can't be it. That is a line, can't be it. Second thing, look at your numbers, recognize you're going from 300 to 1,000 to 3,000 to 10,000. This is increasing. And so look at your options. Actually, I guess that is a pretty good answer because it doesn't give us the answer anyway. But either way, these are our two options. But here's our other thing. 665, 2444. Let's go ahead and do the last one. 10426 minus 3455 is 6971. Okay. So this is where our last bit of analysis will help us out. This is a slow increase because that's 665, or not slow but slower than that, which means that this should be more flat, this should be more straight. And so which one of these does that? Notice this starts more up, that goes more over, this goes over, but this goes more up. It has to be B. Again, this one starts out fast, but then it starts to flatten out, whereas this one starts out decently slow, but then it starts to speed up, which means it's actually starting to go more in an upward direction. And so again, that's something that you won't really need right now, but again, it's just good for us to kind of see and good for you to work with now, because there's no need in holding that back from you, because you will need it at some point. Then you have something else, again, another table that needs to be matched. And again, here's what you do. This is just a horizontal table instead of a vertical table. And so what you're going to do is same thing, second minus first, except we're going sideways here. So 4.8 minus 5 is negative 0.2. 4.6 minus 4.8, again second minus first, is again negative 0.2. And then 4.4 minus 4.6, please try to make that your habit, because the faster you make it a habit of second minus first, is the faster you're going to be ready for the next chapter and everything else coming up. So notice now this is the same, which means that this is linear. At least that's what we talked about yesterday, and we talked about linear meaning that it is a line. So anything that is not a line cannot be an answer. That's what our analysis told us. The last thing is, look at this and understand that this one here, if you analyze it, it has 4 points, but those points eventually reach 0, and this does not reach 0, which means that that can't be it. It just kind of, it's a very slow decrease, and so therefore your answer in this case would be C. So again, part of what you're going to be hopefully be able to do as a result of the work in this chapter is you'll be able to kind of look at some graphs, you'll be able to look at some situations and make some assumptions, make some proper guesses. I guess you can say guesses because it's really not a guess, but you can use your common sense and your observation to kind of make sure you know what's going on. Today we're going to use guess and check to try to identify which equation matches the table of values. You are going to need your calculator. I would suggest that you go ahead and get your calculator out now so you can actually practice it, because just like with the quiz I gave on Monday, a lot of you watch a lot of you, not a lot, some of you, I won't say a lot because most of you actually do what you're supposed to do, but there is that small number of students who don't touch their calculator at all. They watch it on the video, they watch it on the board, then they have to do it on their own, and they have no clue how to push buttons. You would be amazed how many students did not know how to do the fraction button, and that button has been in front of them all year. So please make sure you try your best to do this, because again, I hope you have the pride to try to get out of the class this semester, but that starts with you making a good decision. Now what this is, a table is just telling you the relationship between x and y. And so this is saying that when x is 2, y is going to be 7. When x is 3, y is going to be 11. When x is 4, y is going to be 15. When x is 5, y is going to be 19. There is a pattern for this. And in this case right now, they're actually giving us a multiple choice question. Now, some point pretty soon actually, we are not going to be given this part. We'll have to create the pattern. But for right now, they are giving us options and giving us a chance to try to see which one matches. Now this will help with a lot of your multiple choice questions. This will definitely help on your final, because on your final it has to be multiple choice and you're going to see the table. But here's what you do. You simply take your x and you plug it in. So if you know you're not good with numbers, simply take it and plug this x in for that. So 4 parentheses 2 close minus 2 is what you should put, because we are putting 2 in for x right here. And when we check that answer, we get the answer of 6. Because 6 is not 7, it means it can't be it. Again, this one, when I plugged in 2, I got 6, and it should not be the case. If I plug in 2, I should get 7. So because that doesn't work, I know it can't be A. The next one says 3x minus 1. And again, I'm going to check this 2 in for x. So I'm going to do 3 parentheses 2 close minus 1, because that's what the formula says. Notice that that gives me a 5. Notice that that is not a 5. It means it cannot be the letter B. And that's really all it comes down to. But again, it comes down to you also making sure you understand that you have to do this and do some work to get your answer. Then 4x minus 1 would be 4 parentheses 2 minus 1, which when you type that in gives me the answer of 7, which works. But here's the issue. There are problems where sometimes you can do that and it does work, but it's not the answer. And so what you want to do is check the other ones. And again, pay attention on your calculator, and again, hopefully you typed it in. But the way you check it now that you know that 2 worked, is you hit the arrow up to highlight the equation, hit enter to copy it, and then go change that 2 into a 3 and see if you get 11. Notice we did, which is good. Now you go back up, turn your 3 into a 4. Notice that you got the answer 15, and you really don't need to do it beyond about the third one, or second or third one, but just to make sure and just to show off a little bit, 1919, which means that it has to be this one. So again, at some point you will create this from scratch, but for right now with the answers in front, if the answers are in front, which they will be on your MathXL today, just plug in the values and find it that way, because that is the least effort necessary. The calculator does all the work and there's nothing to worry about. Second one, again, same thing, and this time I'm not going to use a calculator because I don't think we need it. 2, plug it in here. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 4, I do not believe is 15. Can't be this one. 2, 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is definitely 11, not 15. Can't be B. 2 times 6. Again, we're just checking this until we find one that works. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 4, not 15. Can't be that. There's no need to even check the next one because none of those worked. Has to be D. But just to show you, again, in a way that you can even do whenever you're good with numbers, which I think some of you are, 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 makes 15, which is good. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 does make 21. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 does make 27. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 3 makes 33. This skill is very important. Now there's one more thing I want to talk about before we do the last example and you get to the work on the MathXL. Again, please make sure you're paying attention to this because I notice that some of you are not catching all the material. If we do the silly game of, because this is going 2, 3, 4, 5, but if we do the silly game of 11 minus 7 is 4, 15 minus 11 is 4, 19 minus 15 is 4. If we do the silly game of 21 minus 15 is 6, 27 minus 21 is 6, 33 minus 27 is 6, again always second minus first, what do you notice about the answer? and about the change amounts that we have. And what you should notice is that this number represents the number that's attached to x, and this number also represents the number that's attached to x. That'll again come in handy later, but for right now, again, just kind of pay attention to it, put it in the back of your mind, and use it if you want to today, because we are going to do that on C. On C, what we're going to do is use, again, some analysis, because, again, the hard part about this semester is some of it is just analysis, flat-out analysis. So when you look at this, you get 11 minus 7, which is 4. 15 minus 11, which is 4. 19 minus 15, which is 4. Because of our ability to see patterns, we know that this number should be attached to x, which means, guess what? We can eliminate options right now. Because since I know that this is 4, it means it should be 4x and something. Now what I do is I don't waste my time with these two, because those shouldn't even be close, and I can now look at this and say, okay, 2 times 4 is 8. 8. I think I didn't copy it right. Sorry about that. But either way, this should be, I believe, let's just say it's that the answers are, hold on, 15, 19, 23, 27. Yeah, let's just say that was it, because obviously I copied this wrong. But anyway, with that being done, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 plus 7, 15, 4 times 3 is 12, 12 plus 5. I think I'm going crazy. 4 times 2. Yeah, I'm definitely going crazy. That should be, I don't know. You know what I'm saying. It's a good way for me to mess up online and then have that online the rest of my life. But other than that, just make sure you understand that whenever you're doing this, this number here matches that graph here, and that you can use that on your Math Excel. So again, answer that question on the last part. You will have some more of the solving questions. Again, make sure you're working on that. I try not to put too many of them on there, but I do want to make sure you keep practicing, because I need you to be solid on that process. So if you get stuck on anything, on the fraction work, on this graphing work, or on this table stuff, please let me know. Again, I'm walking around the classroom during this period trying to work as hard as you need me to work, so you can understand what's going on. So use me as much as you need to. Other than that, thank you for listening, and good luck.